Okay, now go ahead, go back up 2 verses and read that again. And read that very slowly for your
4 or 5. Talking about going through Samaria?
yeah.
And he must needs go through Samaria.
He must need go through Samaria. That's showing importance. He must need go through Samaria. Go ahead.
Then cometh he to a city of Samaria, which is called Sychar, near the parcel of ground that Jacob gave to his son Joseph.
Stop right there. He came to what city?
Sychar.
Sychar. I wish I had the definition of Sychar right now, but anyway, he came. Go ahead.
Well, this was an intoxicant, excessively alcoholic liquor, strong wine.
So, does any of those things describe anybody you know in the scriptures?
You just read it.
The house of Israel.
Drunken with lust.
Drunken with what?
Lust.
Drunken with lust, their idolatry, and their whores. So, he must need to go to Sychar, a city of Samaria. Now read what it says again after that.
Then cometh to a city of Samaria, which is called Sychar, near to the parcel of ground that Jacob gave to his son Joseph.
The parcel of ground that who? Jacob gave to who?
Joseph.
His son Joseph. Y'all see the connection?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go ahead.
Now Jacob's well was there. Yahusha, therefore, being wearied with his journey, sat thus on the well, and it was about the 6th hour. There cometh a woman of Samaria to draw water.
Stop right there. There comes a woman of who?
Samaria.
A woman of Samaria. Now, to be a woman of Samaria, do you have to be a Samaritan?
No.
Or could you be a resident in that land?
A resident in that land.
Keep reading.
Yahusha said unto her, Give me to drink. For his disciples were gone away into the city to buy meat. Then said the woman of Samaria unto him, How is it thou, being a Jew, ask a drink of me, which am a woman of Samaria?
Stop right there. Would she ask, how being that you being what? A Jew, ask what? Ask me for a drink, me being a woman of what?
Samaria.
Of Samaria. Now remember, she's differentiating, even though the scripture is showing you this woman is what? An Israelite in the land which was given to Joseph, just given to their people. So they're sitting on the well, or Jacob's well. So she said, how is it that you being a Jew, ask me something for something to drink? Go ahead. When Jews what?
When Jews had no dealings with Samaria.
Jews have no dealings with Samaria. Go ahead.
Yahusha answered and said unto her, If thou knewest the gift of Yahuah, and who it is that saith to thee, Give me to drink, thou wouldst ask of him, and he would have given thee living water. The woman said unto him, Sir, thou hast nothing to draw with, and the well is deep. From whence there hast thou that living water? Art thou greater than our father Jacob, which gave us the well? And
Stop right there. She was Samaritan. Did she say, art thou greater than who? Our father Jacob. Will let you know that this woman who's being identified as a Samaritan, what is she?
She is Israelite.
She's an Israelite. But remember she said, Jews have no what? Dealing with Samaritans. It's going back to what I was saying. The house of Judah and the house of Israel, they were still in contention. They didn't want to recognize each other as blood or family. The Jews called them Gentiles, and they knew that they were separated or different from their brothers. But you see, reading through this, is she not identified with her lineage being Israel, though? Mm-hmm. But she's calling herself what? A Samaritan. It's the same thing with us until we wake up. We call ourselves Americans. We identify with the culture, the ideologies, philosophies, and customs of America. Until we wake up, but we're what? We're blood-born Israelites. And so what happened is, Northern Kingdom has assimilated into the cultures of these lands where they were scattered until they literally all became the people. In mind, body, soul, and thought. And that's what's happening here. When you go to, so that's why I say it's imperative that we gain an understanding. We point out these things because there's a lot of people out here, they do not have this understanding, and it causes them to do like what Peter said about Paul's writing. He calls them to what?
So they can't understand.
They can't understand it. So it causes them to stumble and trip and fall over other scripture because they don't have this understanding. He's not dealing with another nation. Go ahead.
So you're saying that she knew that she was from the same bloodline, but she was not identifying herself at that time as a true Israelite.
That's right. Because they knew that they were cut off from Jerusalem. But let's finish reading because it's going to shed a little more light too. Because Yahusha is going to say some things that show you what's really going on.
Verse 12. And art thou greater than our father Jacob, which have gave us this well, and drank thereof himself and his children? And
see the history that she knows? Now you know how many hundreds and hundreds of years Jacob was before her? For her to know that Jacob was her father and drank from that well and his children, there would have to be what? Or a history passed down. It's making the connection and drawing the line, bringing you back from here back to the starting point. Go ahead, Akeem.
Yahusha answered and said unto her, Whosoever drinketh of this water shall thirst again, but whosoever drinketh of the water that I shall give him shall never thirst. But the water that I shall give him shall be in him a well of water, springing up into everlasting life. The woman saith unto him, Sir, give me this water that I thirst not, neither come hither to draw. Yahusha answered unto her, Go call thy husband and come hither.
Stop right there. He said, go call thy husband and come hither. Now y'all know he already know her background. Why did he shift this conversation to husband? It's a strategic thing. Remember, we're talking about the house of Israel here now. Now go there and watch this. Say it again. Continue reading on.
The woman answered and said, I have no husband. Yahusha answered unto her, Thou hast well said, I have no husband. For thou hast had 5 husbands, and he whom thou now hast is not thy husband. Is the same as thou true.
Stop right there. He said, thou hast spoken well. He said, thou hast had what?
5.
5 husbands. How is it possible for a woman to have 5 husbands? And he said, the one you have what? Now? But remember, she just said she didn't have one. He said, no, he said, that you spoken well. For you have had 5 husbands. And he said, the one you got now, he's not what?
Your husband.
He's not your husband.
That means that her first husband had died.
Exactly. So it's showing you the condition of the house of Israel. Yeah, of all these many husbands and lovers that she had. That's why he changed the conversation to what? To point out a condition, because she was a representation of the whole nation. And he was pointing out what had taken place, what happened with that nation. The house of Israel. And this is what happened. So remember, he said, I have need to go to Galilee. He said, I must need. He was showing the importance of him going to Galilee. Because everything is about the restoration of the house of Israel. And once the restoration of the house of Israel takes place, guess what happens? Say it again. What did you say, Coty? The two houses, they can be joined together. There won't be anything that will prevent the two houses from reuniting or joining to become one. So, quick question, Coty, where did the breach take place? In Galilee. What was that breach, Coty? Coty of Shabbat. What caused the breach?
What caused the breach?
Disobedience in what way?
Not following God.
Right. Be more specific. You know it, but we've been talking about it the whole time with those two women.
Two sisters.
Yeah.
They were worshiping idols,
Thank
those different nations, had many husbands.
Thank you. Say that again. Had many husbands. And what was one of the first commandments? That's why he told his woman, you're right, you don't have the husband. The one that you have now, he's not yours. Because he never broke the covenant. It was always forever standing. What did he say? Didn't he say, thou shalt not have what? No other Elohim before me? And that's exactly what he meant. She wasn't going to have any more husbands. And so this is why the breach took place just like Akoti Korah said, Akoti Korah said at Galilee, and Akoti Shema will explain to that. The cause for the breach was because of their disobedience, not only their disobedience, but more specifically, she said, because of their idolatry and their whoredom. And so, this is why, Akoti, why did Mashiyach Yahusha have to go to Galilee? Why was it important that he go to Galilee?
To bring them back into the relationship.
Yeah, to bring them back into relationship. And by bringing them back into relationship, he will have done what? Remember we were talking about the breach, restore the house, or repair what? You just say it.
Restore the house.
Restore the house or repair the breach. Because the breach took place in Galilee. So that's why he was saying, and if you notice in several scriptures, he makes reference to Galilee. After his death, burial, and resurrection, when he appeared before the women, what did he tell the women? He told the women to tell his disciples to meet him somewhere.
Galilee.
Galilee, he directed them to what? Galilee. Why Galilee? All of this talk about Galilee. Why you got to go to Galilee? Galilee. But it's so important. So Shabbat Shalom, everybody. We're going to, go ahead.
Yeah, one more question. So when it came to the Roman centurion that was over the men, I can't remember what book it was, but it said, I have not.
Should have been Acts. Is it Acts 10?
No, it's not that one. It's the one before that. When he was like, just say it and I believe it because I'm like you, I have men under me. If I say something.
Right.
But then after that, he said, I have not found one of this much faith in all Israel. So is he talking about Israel as the house or Israel as the nation?
Israel as the nation, the Jews were unbelievers.
Okay, so in that case, he was talking about a Gentile.
No, he was talking about a house of Israel Gentile. Because remember, that's why I pointed out, when you get to the New Testament, the house of Judah is Israel, point blank, period.
Yeah, that's what I meant by the house of Israel and as far as the nation of Israel, because I remember you just said that.
Right.
In the New Testament, the house, Judah is the house, is Israel, period.
Right. They're not the house of
And
Israel.
that-
They're the house of Jacob, or they're Israel.
And then they would be considered, what they call the Gentiles, would be considered the house of
The house of Israel, yeah. Or Ephraim. Right. And he said that even with the woman that was following after him, remember? And the disciples said, make her go away, for she cried out after thee. And what did he say? He said, I'm only what? Sent to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And what did she say?
even the dogs.
Even the dogs get the crumbs from the master's table. He said it's not meat to take the bread which belongs to the children and give it to the dogs. But remember, even going back to the beginning of the book, we find out that even with Israel, when Joshua went into the land, who was his right-hand man and who went with him? Caleb. Dog. The Hebrew word for dog is Caleb. And he's showing you a picture from the beginning. But did not Caleb receive an inheritance by being attached to those of the covenant, or those with the inheritance? And what did he say about us when he gives us our inheritance? He just said we're going to take our inheritance, we're going to what? We're going to give the nation, or those that nation, we're going to give them an inheritance. But the whole book is about Israel, the bloodline. And so that's why when you see that, it's talking about Israelites who had assimilated into these cultures and identified with the cultures, but they're Israelites by blood. Oh, I mean,
That's what kind of made me kind of look at it and help me snap out of that other Gentile thing. Because I kept saying, well, I keep going to stay with these people. Because, when some places you just learn that the Samaritans is Romans, you think they Romans and Greeks and this type.
Right.
But from, a natural standpoint, you think what I'm saying? But that's what made me, I said, okay, why? It wasn't Israel, why would you even stay with them?
exactly.
Yeah.
Because one of the keys to understanding the New Testament meaning also is when you read about the parable of, not so much a parable, but when he cursed the fig tree.
Yep.
And he identified who the fig tree was. Oh, actually it was Pharisees. But who were the Pharisees and what were their position? The law and everything was supposed to be given through the Pharisees. Or the understanding and teaching was to come down through these people. But he cursed them because there was no truth coming out of them and through them.
Quick question. When it came to the Pharisees, they were like, we are the descendants of Abraham. We've never been enslaved.
Mm-hmm.
So that was Judah? That was Yehudah, or was that, I've heard some say that was Edomites. You know what I'm talking about?
Right, but see what you have to look at, even during that time, history is very important. When you go study the history of the Pharisees, the Sanhedrins and stuff back during that time, you're going to realize it was more so Herodians a part of the Pharisees and the Sanhedrin than it more so was actual Yahudim.
Exactly.
That's why the priesthoods had become so corrupt. Senior Morey Saba did a beautiful teaching and elaborating on how it was very important and it was key that Yahuah inaugurate Mashiyach. Because he couldn't be inaugurated under that wicked priesthood and through the Pharisees and all that stuff during this time. It had to be someone from the offspring of the Abijah or the Melchizedek order. And that's why it was Yahuah. Because when you go study the Sanhedrin and the Pharisees and all that stuff during that time, you had Herodians a part of it.
Exactly.
And Herodian was mixed with Edom seed. That's another lesson.
What's the name of that? You know the name?
I don't know, even the book of Maccabees, it talks about John Perkins. It talks about how Herod actually married a daughter of one of the daughters of the Maccabees. Her name was Mary, because he actually wanted to be part of the temple. Yeah.
Yeah.
So these are mindsets. It's throughout the scriptures. So you get good. Do a lesson on that too.
The Zondervan's dictionary go into that too. If you look up King Herod, it explains how
Exactly.
the Zondervan's dictionary.
It really goes into it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that priesthood was polluted.
Oh, I know it was dirty. It's filthy.
Jason and Nice, almost, yeah, that's a lot.
That's why there's a whole lot going on in Jerusalem at that time. That's why it's imperative that if you can buy books and stuff that give you kind of a backdrop on the history of what's really taking place in Jerusalem at that time. Matter of fact, one good book I can recommend is, I don't know if y'all familiar with Rudolph Wilson, who wrote From Babylon to Timbuktu.
Yeah, I'm going to have that.
Now, one of his other good books is Judea Trembles Under Rome. Good book.
You said go by.
Judea Trembles Under Rome. And so there are a lot of books you can order to get the history of what's going on in the New Testament under the authorities of the Romans. But remember I said, it's key that you understand, like I said, most people don't even know that Israel or the Jews are in captivity during that time of Mashiyach. They're not in control of that land. They are captive. They are enslaved. They're in captivity in Jerusalem.
Only
Well, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
And this time we're going to turn it in the hands of our senior more ready for Solomon. Let's give him a hand as we go on. So to call the ones and twos.
Very good. Shalom, shalom. So let's give More a nice big hand. Giving us a nice understanding or overstanding of the two houses, what happened between Northern and Southern Kingdom, looking at some of the parables to try to help us get another or a better understanding of what's going on. I'm going to make this very, very quick, extremely quick. Maury went to the book of Ezekiel and the book of Ezekiel, the 37th chapter. It talked about the reunification of the two houses, Northern Kingdom and Southern Kingdom. We talked about the sinew. We talked about the breath of life, the bones coming together, and they standing up upon their feet again, becoming this great and mighty people, the way that we were in the beginning. Now, reunification, redemption is very important, extremely important. This walk is very, very important. This walk is so important is that it is unlike any other doctrine or way of life than anything else. We don't, put it this way, when we talk about redemption, it is not the same thing that the Christian church do, where we're going to, quote unquote, wait until the Father actually bring us into the new land. As it was in the beginning, so shall it be in the end. Meaning this is that there is somebody that's occupying that land right now. All right? Those people are not going to give up that land. You will not be able to vote them out. There's going to be something that has to happen or you're in. Because Scripture tells us that you are my weapons of war and my battle axe and my weapons of war. So there's going to be something that you're going to have to do also. Because right now, Judah is there.
He's not going to just sit it in your lap.
No, absolutely. Because right now, we're lazy. It's got to the point where we become so pacified is that we believe that voting, the election process, Democrats, Republicans, that's going to get us out of this captivity here. Now, we're going to need the Father on our side. That's the only way that this is going to happen. But if you think you have problems now, like Zakar and I, we talk about all the time, you haven't seen anything yet. Jacob's trouble, because again, there's been leaders that have come, so-called leaders, and they've taught you something contrary to the Scriptures here. You're going to have to fight your way out of this here. We're talking about a revolution.
But who is going to be our power?
Exactly. So we just want to make sure everybody understands that. If you're a very soft, emotional person, this walk is not for you. And we're talking about both the men and the women. All right? Because there was a woman during the time of Deborah where she just took a spike, all right, and nailed it straight through the guy's head and nailed him to the ground. Yeah, so Chadasha gave out a decree, all right, to destroy all of what's that guy's name? Haman, right. Israel went on a killing streak, just killing Edomites. Yeah. So this is a battle zone that's coming up. Remember, Mashiyach said at any given time he can muster up an army just like that and overthrow the Roman Empire. Yeah. But nah, we become so pacified and so relaxed in today's society that we don't have any fight.
It's because of the rapture.
Yeah, exactly. So we have to really get real to make sure that we understand exactly what's going on here. And I just want to share this right quick. Watch how this goes. If you go to the book of Numbers, the book of Midbar, the 14th chapter, verse 41. Now Israel is about to move into the promised land, the land of Canaan. Just like what we have brought out, Ezekiel the 37th chapter. Once we get our identity, we know who we are, and we're now following Torah, and we know that the messengers of Yahuah is going to actually now intervene, because it tells us in the last book of Daniel that in that great day, the archangel Michael will stand up for his people. So, but we have to make sure that we keep everything in its proper perspective so that we can understand how this redemption is going to take place. Now watch this. This is the book of Numbers, the 14th chapter, verse 41. It said, and Moshe said, therefore now, do you transgress the commandments of the father of Yahuah, but it should not prosper. Now read that, verse 39, excuse me. And Moses told these things, saying unto all the children of Yashra'al, and the people mourned greatly. And they rose up early in the morning and got them up into the top of the mountain, saying, lo, we be here, and we will go up into the place which the Father of Yahuah had promised, for we have sinned. And Moses said, wherefore now do you transgress the commandments of the Father of Yahuah, but it should not prosper. Go not up, for Yahuah your Elohim is not among you. Not among you. So you see a lot of our people going out protesting, and we shall overcome, and we see our people being slaughtered in the streets. Like Maury have said, stay away from those crowds. Stay away from them. Because the Father has not called us to battle yet. You would never win the war. What we're going to have to do now is just lay back until the Father gives that command for us now to actually now take our rightful position.
Be ready.
Exactly. This is what we have to do. Just like we have Shaul, whenever you're now in the military, you have to wait until the person that's in charge gives you the command for you to move to actually now go to war. This is a strategy here. Now watch how this whole thing plays out again. Excuse me. Well, let's go out. But we still good. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Go not up, for Yahuah is not among you, that you be not smitten before your enemies. For the Amalekites and the Canaanites are there before you, and you shall fall by the sword, because you are turned away from the Father of Yahuah. Therefore, the Father will not be with you, but they presume to go up unto the top of the hill. Nevertheless, the ark of the covenant and the sovereign and Moses departed not out of the camp. And the Amalekites came down, and the Canaanites which dwelt in that hill, and smote them and discomforted them even into Hormah. So I just wanted to share. We have to make sure anything that we do, we must make sure that the Father of Yahuah is with us. Because if he's not with us, the outcome is not going to turn out in our favor at all. So there must be a reunification. We must wait on the Father. We must wait until the blowing of that shofar that happens in the 7th month. That's going to be very, very important. The shofar is blown in the 7th month, and then the next festival that comes about now, because it actually ushers in a very important event. Anybody knows what happens once the shofar is blown? There's something that happens in the 1st month. Because the shofar is blown in the 7th month, ushering in the Jubilee. The Jubilee now is the time when the captives are set free. When Israel came out of Egypt, it came out during a Jubilee year. The nation of Yashra'al will be delivered again out of a Jubilee year, during Pesach. As it was in the beginning, so shall it be again, so shall it be in the end. So we must make sure that we understand the festivals, and we leave it there. Yes?
Will that help us get on the right yearly count? As far as when we are brought out, then we'll know that, okay, now we're at a Jubilee. Or is there a way to know we're at a Jubilee now? Or when the most recent one happened? I remember like a year or so ago, the Jewish people were saying that it was a year of Jubilee. You know?
Right. I mean,
but I don't trust. I don't trust
Right,
it.
no,
Yeah,
no,
so-
that year Jubilee has not happened yet. We're not going to fall into that trap where Israel became a state in 1948.
Oh, yeah, okay.
No, that crap there. But the best way that you can actually do it, though, is that we had did it before, is that it is going to fluctuate. But if you was to look at when Israel came out of the Babylonian captivity, that was on a Jubilee year. And if you should count those Jubilees, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, you should pretty much get a ballpark of when the next Jubilee should happen.
If we count from there.
Right from that point.
Because I know I've heard also that, I think it was around 1100 or 12, something like that, where some years they skipped ahead to get them on a certain calendar, so they played with the times a little bit.
Right, I mean, because it talks about in the book of Daniel how they were able to change times and seasons, so the count is not actually correct.
But we have a season, we have a time frame.
Exactly. Because remember, just like you just said, now everything is based upon the season. Season. And when we look up the word season, like we had did at Shabbat, the word is moed. Israel is going to be delivered during a moedim. Very important. So again, everything is piggybacking now off of what Morey said about Ezekiel 37th chapter.